Hey everybody, my name is Scary Spikes and welcome to another Star Citizen video. In today's video, we'll be exploring Port Olisar with a guided tour, as I've noticed that not many other people around the YouTube community have been doing this, and I think this would be something that would be very beneficial to new players. Knowing where to get armor, weapons, and ship components can be a vital thing, especially in the very early hours and days of your Star Citizen career. Before we get started, a very special thank you to Moxico, one of our VIP Gold contributors. He's a miner, and although not in our time zone, makes an effort to appear as much as he can, and is very diligent at mining, as well as being extremely supportive of myself and the community. So Moxico, thank you very much for all of your support. It is very much appreciated. Also, before we get started, make sure to join us on stream live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays over on Twitch at 8 PM Eastern, and our Discord community, the links for which can be found in the description below. Also, make sure to drop me a like here if you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, subscribe if you're new, and ring the bell so that you never miss a video in the future. With all that out of the way, let's get started with this video. When you walk around Port Olisar, one of the first things that you'll notice are these signs. These signs will show you where different pads are around the station, as well as which strut you're on. Port Olisar has 4 struts, A, B, and C, and from what we can see here, we are on B strut. One thing to note is that the entire layout that I'm about to show you here on the B strut is exactly the same and identical to those found on the A, C, and D struts respectively. But basically, a copy of this entire internal structure can be found on each of the struts, and none of them are different than one another. They are all exactly identical and the same. First and foremost, we'll have a look up at where you are likely to spawn after logging into the game, which will be in the Habs, which will be on the 3rd floor. Note that there's really nothing that happens on the 2nd floor, so we can basically completely omit that. This is the Easy Hab habitation space, and you'll notice that this, again, just like any other place on Port Olisar, is exactly the same through each of the struts, and unlike some of the rest and relax stations, there are no elevators here. You'll simply spawn in one of these rooms here, and you can find your way out by going through this door or going through the door on the other side. So running out of here, you'll notice that there's a bit of a lounge on the left hand side. Kind of a nice place just to hang out. It's an easygoing place with some nice dim lighting, and there's also some benches scattered throughout the area. Note that there is also the opposite end here, which also has habitations, so you might spawn on either side of these, but basically they all end up going to the staircase, which you can take down and head down to the lower levels. Again, notice that on deck 2, there's really nothing going on here, so don't worry about that. The only thing you really need to worry about is deck 3, where you spawn, and deck 1, where just about everything is. Looking out this window, we can actually see the center area, and again, this will be exactly the same for each and every single strut on Port Olisar, and those are the ship retrieval consoles found there. There's quite a number of them too, so you can use them without having to worry about something being taken up by another player. That being said though, there are limited amount of landing pads on each strut, and especially for larger ships, you'll note that each strut only has one large landing pad, and that one is always 00. 00 is the biggest pad, and it'll accommodate ships like the Carrack, 600i, and other similarly sized ships. So just keep an eye out of that and make sure that you see that the landing area is clear before spawning one of your larger ships. Otherwise, you might want to EVA over to another strut and see if you can spawn a ship over there. So we're going to start by having a look at the 00 to 04 docking bays here. Now, these are more like pads, and they are open to space. But when you go through this pressurization chamber, you need to make sure that you have your helmet on. There is still a bug going around where your helmet might be off once you spawn in, so just make sure to do that, otherwise you will not make it out here alive, because this is all open to the vacuum of space. But going straight ahead, that will take you to the large landing pad, and the other landing pads can be found by following the respective signs and hallways there. Going back through the pressurization chamber here, the first thing that we'll see on the left-hand side is, of course, the Keep Calm Carry One poster, which, by the way, if you'd like to get that on a shirt, go over to ssbgaming.com and check it out. It's pretty sweet. With that being said, this is the weapon store, and you can head on in here to get some weapons as well as buy different types of attachments and ammunition. And it's important to note as well that inside here, this is the only place on Port Olisar where you're able to buy food. If you want more information about how to purchase different types of food and drink and how to store them for later use, make sure to watch my comprehensive beginner's guide linked in the top right-hand corner of the screen. You can walk up to any of these weapons or attachments here to have a closer look at them and to purchase them individually. Alternatively, you can also go up to one of these here, and once you're on the screen, just wait for it to load up, and you'll notice that you have a cornucopia of different types of weapons and ammo choices available, and you can go ahead and buy things from here. It's quite important also to make sure that you buy some med pens and oxy pens, especially if you're just getting started, so make sure to pick up a few of those. If we head out of the weapons shop, directly opposite from the weapons shop will be the defense shop. That's basically, it's going to be your different space suits and armor. So let's have a look in here and have a look at what they have. Okay, so moving in here, as you can see, there's quite a number of different armors and suits available. Now again, just like in the weapons shop, you can walk up to any one of these and simply try these on or just buy them directly from the mannequins. Alternatively, you can also go to the Gravity Defense LCD panel or whatever this thing is and just go ahead and purchase things from here. What I would recommend if you're buying any kind of armor or suits is that you start off with the torso section first and work your way out from there. Let's continue counterclockwise by having a look at the next door that leads out to pads 5 through 8. That's going to be this door here, and you can see the status of it here as well. You can see that it is currently cycling, so if somebody else is using the door, you can have a look up there as well as on the actual button there to open the door. Go ahead and hit the cycle button, wait a few seconds, and then the door should spring open. Now this will have access to pads 5 through 6 and 7 through 8. And again, if you follow the signs, you're sure to get to the pad that you need. All right, we'll head back through the pressurization chamber here and continue the tour of Port Olisar. Right, so out of this door, we're going to hang a left. And you'll notice that there's really not much going on around here. This is pretty much identical on the other side as well. There's just a whole bunch of nothing over here. And this is basically where we came from, and that's the door that we just walked through. So there's nothing over there, no need to worry about that. If you want to go up to the habs for some strange reason, you can take this staircase up here, and it's identical on the other side of the station as well. Of course, you have your signs as well, so if you're looking for specific signs, you can go ahead and just look up and you're sure to find them. And right by the pad number 9 here, exit, because this does have its own exit. Now this is just for pad number 9. This won't lead you to any other pads, so just make sure to be mindful of that. But you can see that we have a dumpers depot. This is a place that you can go to buy all sorts of different ship components, and it's really quite useful because there's really not a lot of other places that you can do so around Crusader. So this is great. They often don't have as many components, or at least as much of a selection as you would expect at Omega Pro or Centermass, for example, at New Babbage, but there's certainly more than enough things here, and you can find different kinds of missiles and mining modules, laser heads, and all sorts of things like that. And of course, you also have your quantum drives, your coolers, shields, and power plants, as well as different types of weaponry. And of course, you also have a few paints as well. For more information about modules for your ship, make sure to click on the link on the top right hand corner of the screen and watch that video so that you know how to best equip your ship. Heading outside of Dumpers Depot, you'll notice a few Kovalex containers here, and these are quite interesting. These are scattered throughout the verse and sometimes available in different space stations, and these allow you to complete carrier missions. So you might have to move a box, let's say from Port Olisar to a different station. So in order to retrieve a box that you have a mission for, you would press this button, and if you're delivering to this station, you would press this button. At that point, you would just place your box inside here, and then you're good to go. Going past the admin desk here, we can see that we also have a secondary entrance and exit to Dumpers Depot on this side, and the secondary entrance to Cassava on this side. If you notice, there's a bit of a pattern going on here. This is basically a big square strut on which each of the four corners are different stores that you can have a look into. Before we go into the Cassava though, it's also important to point out that there's these terminals here. If you have any fines for the region of Crusader, you can go ahead and log in here by holding F and just clicking your left mouse button, and you should be able to pay your fines here. Note that if your exploits get a little bit excessive, you may not be able to pay fines anymore. You would be pretty much subjected to having a crime stat, for which getting rid of one will be coming up in a future video. So this is Cassava. This is basically the clothing shop here on Port Olisar, and the first thing that you'll notice is that they actually have water available. And once again, this is the only place that you can purchase water on Port Olisar, so make sure to stock up on that before you go off on your way. You can see that we have some shoes over on this side, and again, much like any other shop, you have different types of items available on the racks that you can have a look at and try on. And if you'd like to, you can even move on to one of the many different terminals here and access those to purchase more things. Okay, so leaving Cassava, we're going to see that we have the number 10 pad just out here. And again, this is very similar. Just follow the signs to get to the different pads that you need. This is going to be a single door here. Again, a pressurization chamber there to lead you outside of the space station. And that will lead you only to pad number 10. But finally, we're going to move around to the other side of the space station here. Or I should say the strut. This station is made up of 4 struts. So this is just the one strut that we're having a look at. And as you can see there, we're back to landing pads 00 to 04. You're probably wondering why we didn't go into that middle section. Well, the middle section is available right here through the many different doors. As you can see, there's pretty much a door on each side. So there's actually 2 on this side and 1 on each of those sides. And then by the Cassava and the Dumpers Depot, there's just a big open hole in the wall here for you to move through. And this is where you would get all of your ships. You can go ahead and access this, and you should be able to see all of your ships here. That's going to do it for this short video today. Please let me know if you enjoyed it. It's a little bit of a departure from something that we usually do here, but I hope it's been something that was useful to you and also something that was helpful, especially if you're a new player to Star Citizen. Make sure to go ahead and like the video to let me know that you've liked it and that you found it helpful. Subscribe if you're brand new, and ring the bell so that you don't ever miss a video in the future as I post videos weekly. Also, make sure to join us on stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays over on Twitch at 8 PM Eastern, and of course our Discord community, the links for which can be found in the description below. If you'd like to help support me, the best way to do it is honestly to go pick up yourself some merch. You can go ahead and head over to sspgaming.com, and there's a wide selection of different types of shirts, hats, and accessories, as well as really beautiful prints of your favorite ships from Star Citizen. That is honestly the best way to support me, as YouTube and Twitch tend to take quite a large cut, and of course you also get some really nice swag in return. So if you really feel that this was helpful and you'd like to help support me, that is the absolute best way, and please accept my sincere thanks for any way that you choose to support me, as it really does truly mean a lot to me. That'll do it from me in this video. Thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.